Vaye Amar Melech Yericho Lemor Hine Anashim Ba'u Hey Nahalayla Hine Yisrael For Et Haaretz Vayishlach Melech Yericho El Rachav Lemor Hotzi Anashim Habaim Elayech Asher ba'u lebeitech ki lachbor et kol haaretz ba'u vatika ha'isha et shnei hanashim vatitzpeno vatomer kei ba'u elai hanashim v'lo yodati v'ayin hima v'yahi hasha'ar l'skor V'choshech v'hanashim yatza'u v'lo yodati anachochu ha'anashim ritvu macher acharihem ki tasiguim v'hi elatam ha'dada v'titmenem v'fishtei ha'etz acharachot al hagad V'ha'anashim radfu acharihem derech hayadem al ha'maberot v'hasha'ar sagaru acharei ka'asher yatzehu harodifim achareihem v'heima terem yishkavun v'hi Alta Alechem Al Hagar Vatomer El Ha'anashim Yodati Kinatan Adonai Lachem Et Haaretz V'chinafla Ematchem Aleinu V'kinamogu Kol Yoshevei Haaretz Mipanehem Ki shamanu et asher havish Adonai et me'am suf mipnechem v'tzeitechem mitzrayim va'asher asitem lishnei machei hamori asher be'ever hayadin l'sichon u'yod asher haramtam otam vanishma vayimas levavenu below kama ot ruach v'ish mipnechem ki Adonai Elohechem hu Elohim bashamayim ma'al v'al haaretz mitachat v'yata Shavuna li b'Adonai ki asiti imachem chased v'asitam gamatem im beit avi chesed v'nitatem li otemet v'acharitem et avi v'etini v'etachai v'achiotai v'eit kol asher lachem V'yatzaltem et nafshotenu nimavet v'yomru lahanashim navshenu tatechem lamut im lo tagidu et devarenu zeh v'haya v'teit adonu lanu et haaretz v'yasinu imach chesed ve'emet Vatori Dame Bachefel Bi'al Hachalon Ki Betach Bekir Achomach Ubachomach Hiyot Shavet Vatomer Lachem Ha-ha-ha-ra-lechu Pen Yifgulu Bachem Harofim V'nach Beitem Shama Shaloshet Yamim Ad Shov Harofim Va'ar Tilahu L'Darkehem Vayomru Eleha Ha'anash Nashim Nikim Anachnu Yishvuatei Hazeh Asher Hishbatanu Hinei Anachnu Ba'im Ba'aretz Et Tikvat Hu Tashani Hazeh Tikshri Bachalon Asher Raditeinu Bo Viet Avich Viet Imech Viet Achayech Ve'et Kol Beit Avich Tzazvi Elayech Habaita V'haya Kol Asher Yitzei Nidaltei V'techa Chutza Damo Rosho V'anachnu Nikim V'chol Asher Yeh Itach Babayit Damo Roshenu Inyad Tihiyabo Va'im Tagidi Et Tivarenu Zeh V'hayinu Nikim Yishvuatei Asher Hishbatanu Vatomer Kedivrechem Kenhu Vatishalchem Vayelechu Vatikshor Et Tikvat Hashemi Bachalon Vayelchu Vayavahu Hahara Vayeshevu Sham Shloshet Yamim Ad Shavu Harodavim Vayavakshu Harodavim V'chol Haderech V'lo Matzahu Vayashu Shnei Hanashim Vayardu Mihahar Vayavru Vayavahu El Yehoshua Bin Nun Vayasapruo Et Kol Hamotzot Otam Vayomru El Yehoshua Kinatan Adonai Vayadenu Et Kol Haaretz V'gavna Mogu Kol Yoshvei Haaretz Mipanenu.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Outstanding. I think he should become the official Haftorah reader every Shabbos in our shul.
Solomon, that was
That
phenomenal.
was beautiful. That was great.
Wow.
Just like your name, Sholem. You did it.
Amazing.
I can't give you a hug. But I can reach out to you and want to give you a hug.
All right. You want to do your speech?
So yeah, do it over there. The speech is going to be over there.
You know what, Solomon? That was so nice. Why don't you do it again?
Tell him you'll do it for Shabbos.
Ah, good idea.
Yeah, I'm out of your tricks.
All right. You want to go up? You want to go up there and do your speech?
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah. Right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you only thought that he knows how to speak and read Hebrew. He can also speak beautifully in English. Just listen.
Today I celebrate my Barmitzvah. This is for me a very special and meaningful celebration. It marks my becoming an adult in Jewish life. I am now obligated to fulfill as many of the commandments as possible. At first glance, this might prove to be somewhat frightening. There are so many commandments to fulfill. It is quite a responsibility. However, all of this is really overshadowed by the beauty and richness of Jewish life and the honor of carrying on a 3,000-year-old tradition. Over 3,000 years ago, my ancestors stood at the foot of Mount Sinai to receive our holy Torah. They had just been freed from Egyptian slavery and were now on their way to embrace a new way of life. God had chosen the Jewish people to be the ones that would live by the laws of the Torah and thereby make the world a better and brighter place. We accepted the challenge. The rabbis tell us that God offered the Torah to other nations first, but they refused to accept it. They were not pleased with some of its laws. But when God asked us if we wanted his Torah, we answered, Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do all the commandments and we will listen. Somebody once asked, why did the Jewish people answer, we will do, and then say we will listen? First you listen, and then you do as instructed. But the explanation is because we wanted to show God that we will do all the commandments even if we do not understand the reason for them. That is called true devotion and true commitment. What makes my celebration even more meaningful is that it was only several weeks ago that we celebrated the holiday of Shavuos, the giving of the Torah. It was on this holiday that we became a nation with a purpose and a direction. My Barmitzvah celebration coming so close to this holiday makes me feel as if I am now standing at the foot of Mount Sinai and making my pledge to dedicate my life to the ways of the Torah. And now I have people to thank for helping me become a bar mitzvah. I would like to thank the rabbi for studying with me, helping me with my Hebrew, and helping me prepare for this speech. If it weren't for him, I would not be standing here right now. I'd also like to thank Rabbi Moshe Rappaport for studying with me and giving me his valuable time learning about Judaism. It has been a great experience to learn with him, and it is greatly appreciated. I would like to thank Deanie Rappaport and all my Hebrew school teachers for helping me learn about Judaism, and also thank Deanie for all the help navigating the planning of this weekend and putting together a taste of Kiddush for all the shul members to enjoy. I would like to thank Mora Rifki and the Mekwon Jewish Preschool for getting me started in my Jewish education. I would like to thank Deb Boucher for baking the yummy challahs for this event. It meant a lot that you helped. I would like to thank the countless others for helping with this event. It wasn't what was originally planned, but it has been very special for me. Thank you everyone that is here today with me this weekend, whether you are family that was able to come spend time with me in person, or whether you are family and friends that participated virtually for my Thursday call up to the Torah. I would like to give a special thanks to Mima for loving me and supporting me no matter what. I'm so happy that I have been able to spend time with you over the last 13 years. I am so happy you're here to support me. I would like to thank my sisters, Taya and Eve, for being there for me, whether to annoy me or support me, especially all the extra work my sister Taya did designing graphics for my thank you cards and t-shirts. Finally, I would like to thank my parents for everything, especially my mom for spending countless hours worrying about every detail of this weekend and re-worrying about it as it kept changing. Finally, thank you, Dad, for making me work on my Hebrew every day and listening to me practice. Thank you both for loving me and supporting me every day.
You know what? I must tell you just one thing before I know David and I think Rachel are going to speak. I just want to say that I've heard many of our mitzvot say a speech. They either say it too quickly or not loud enough. Over here there's a microphone. Late Salman, you said the speech so beautifully, so perfectly. I'm very, very proud of you. I feel
chance to talk about my favorite son, I'd like to take a moment to repeat a thank you to the people that have supported Solomon in his Bar Mitzvah celebration. Whether you are one of the limited people supporting him in person, or you are one of the people that are getting to be part of the virtual celebration during the week, I want to say thank you for accommodating this special circumstance. I'm just happy that my wonderful wife has a smile on her face and was able to cope with the constant change of plans, cancellations, and management of a fluid situation. This isn't the series of events that we planned on, but it's a very special celebration to honor a special young man. It certainly won't blend in with the many other bar mitzvahs we've been privileged to attend. Solomon, are you ready to take on all the additional obligations of becoming a man of Judaism? Today you are no longer young Solomon. We will simply call you Solomon. On the outside, when you're looking at Mr. Marks here, you might see his more superficial interests. His love of cars and all vehicles, his love of technology, phones and computers, the many TikTok dances he watches on the internet, and of course his sometimes unhealthy obsession with all things Apple. What's on the inside when you get to know Solomon is a determined young man, so determined that he helped convince his mother, definitely not an easy sell, that we should get a dog. Now we're happy to have butterscotch as part of our family. When he gets his mind on something he wants, he's definitely singularly focused. It wasn't always easy being Solomon. Not because he's the youngest, not because COVID-19 disrupted his bar mitzvah plans, but because he was inflicted with a rare disease around 7 years old, juvenile dermatomyositis, a rare autoimmune disease that left him severely weak that forced regular trips to Children's Hospital. Luckily, we were blessed with great doctors that diagnosed a rare disease extremely early, and his recovery has been the best case scenario. However, he still endured painful transfusions at the beginning of his treatment, years of getting shots from his mother, and a steroid regimen that left him bloated with severe weight gain. It wasn't easy, but he endured all of his medication and still made his way through school while enduring subsequent eyesight issues and the need for cataract surgery as a child as a side effect of his medication. He had every right to be bitter. He had every right to complain, but he toughed it out with few complaints, other than complaints about his sisters, maybe a little bit of a temper. But through all this, his greatest quality continued to shine, his heart of gold. This is a man from a very young age that always was there to help people. We have been pleased to receive multiple notes from school that reported Solomon took care of another classmate that was sitting by himself, or that he cheered up a classmate that was feeling down. As a young man, he took it upon himself to help take care of his grandmother Mima, to be there when she needed assistance, or just to hang out together. They continue to have a very special bond to this day. Some people want their sons to grow up to be a doctor, a lawyer, an athlete, but I couldn't be more proud of my son that has already grown up to be a mensch. Special bond with my father as a role model. As you know, we share both a secular birthday and a Hebrew birthday with my father. A man who was a voracious reader, who knew the importance of family, a man with passions from writing to acting to comedy to even real estate. He was a mensch who never lost the excitement of a child. As you turned 13, my father would have turned 100. Although you never met, he is and would have been very proud of you. My mother, your Nana, only was able to know you for the first part of your life, but she adored you. I see my parents' best traits in you. I know it wasn't your favorite activity, but you studied hard and put through the effort for your bar mitzvah. You did a terrific job. I hope that you will continue to be a wonderful person that you are today. Keep smiling, don't be bitter, keep helping people. We love you and can't wait to see what you accomplish as a man.
Full disclosure, mine isn't that short. So, if you're at home, get some popcorn, I don't know. First, I just want to thank all the Spalters and the Rappaports and the Tiffs and the Munitzes. And as we talked about for being here today, and everybody there's actually some Solomon watch parties going on, I found out. So hopefully they're still watching, because it's been going in and out a little bit, but that's okay. And this is all very special. Our siblings, David's and mine, have been very supportive and trying to help whenever they could, and trying to make this the best case scenario. So we thank everybody, our friends and our family, either for being here or for watching, and we really appreciate it. So, dear Solomon, today is a very special day. Rabbi, I think you should actually patent that, or it's not a patent, or coin it, because we're all taking it from you now. Is that okay? It's not a special Shabbos, but it is a special day. So not only is it your virtual bar mitzvah, but it is the 37th anniversary of my bas mitzvah today. This day is incredibly special to us and the rest of our family and friends. I know this does not look like any of us thought it would, except for the fact that you did an amazing job. That part looks exactly like I thought it would. Since before you were born, you have been special. I wanted to be surprised at your birth. Are you a boy or are you a girl? So at the ultrasound, we told that we did not want to know the sex. Later at the appointment with Dr. Gilman, nobody told him I wanted to be surprised, so he told me. I told him your dad did not know, and he said, glad I'm not you. I can still remember telling Dad you were a boy. He had tears in his eyes because he just assumed you would be a girl. Surprise! The next amazing thing was that because Eve got stuck while making her entrance into the world, you had to be a C-section. Because of that, we picked the date. Dr. Gilman offered June 11th. I took it immediately. That was your Grandpa Ted's birthday. I knew it would make Nana very happy, and I couldn't think of anything more special. The most wonderful thing is, as your dad said, is that your 13th birthday would have been Grandpa Ted's 100th birthday. It makes me smile and gets me a little verklempt every time I think about it, and I know Nana is smiling too. This brings me to Solomon's name. Solomon Mateo Marks, in Hebrew, Shalom Menashe. You were named after my great Aunt Selma, your Grandpa Nate's, Mima's father's sister, there will be a quiz later, and her daughter Marlene, aka your cousin Sherry's mom and sister.
It's confusing.
It is confusing. There's a lot of family. My Aunt Selma was an amazing woman, strong and kind. She kept everyone together. We often went to her house for holidays. My grandparents were in Florida at that time, so I loved going to one of his favorite sisters' homes if we could not be with them. Ironically, last month, she would have been 100 as well. Her daughter Marlene was also special to me. Marlene was an amazing lady. She passed away many years ago after a second bout of cancer, after being in remission for 13 years. She was strong and a fighter. Marlene had a beautiful look about her skin, her flowing clothes, her bright lipstick, and her gorgeous jewelry. She was soft-spoken but knew how to command the attention of the room. We loved hearing about her travels with her husband Sanford, and she loved to shop. She would have loved Amazon. Not as much as you, Solomon, but she would have loved it. I do believe that along with your grandparents, they were watching over you while you were fighting juvenile dermatomyositis. It was such a hard time, but we had amazing doctors and nurses who got us through. We are forever grateful for everyone affiliated with Children's Hospital. I always told you during that time to use Mima as an example. Do not let your illness define you, and that is what you did. I cannot talk about that time without talking about the amazing teachers and staff at Tonjes Bay and Lakeshore Schools. What can you say about a group of people who care and are so invested in your son that they want his success as much as you do? The gratitude I feel towards all of them, many of whom are watching now, and has his amazing tutor, Lisa, is something I cannot explain without getting very emotional. Solomon's relationship with all of them says it all. He is their IT guy, he cleans whiteboards, he organizes work areas. Solomon's 7th grade teacher, Mrs. Rogers, calls the collective Team Solomon. COVID kept her from teaching him in person, but she was amazing on Zoom. She took all the information from Mrs. P, his 6th grade teacher, in order to know Solomon better than he knew himself right at the beginning of 7th grade. They were instant friends. He knew she was his next champion. He was ready to work. She is a reservist in the Navy and has been called to duty. Sadly, Lakeshore will be without her for a year, but we look forward to her return. We wish her and her family well. Stay safe, and thank you for your service. From champion to biggest champion, my mom. She did it. She's here. She ate, she drank, she gave me a hard time about all of it, but she promised she would be here for the Barmitzvah, and she's here, so thank you. Solomon is always been her biggest champion. We would not want to be doing this without you, and I'm so glad we do not have to. This brings me to all the people who are not with us today. My beloved grandparents, and of course my dad, Solomon's papa, blessed memory. Solomon turned 4 shortly after my dad passed away. While my dad was not well the year before he passed away, he still made a point to attend Grandparents' Day at Mequon Jewish Preschool. He loved going there for all of the grandchildren, but Solomon was his only grandson. Rivki would set him up with a hot cup of coffee, and he would agree to read books or whatever else Rivki asked him to do, because she could get him to do whatever she asked. He always had a soft spot for Rivki and the work of MJP. I never thought I would have a simcha without my father, who loved being a grandfather. Solomon, he would have loved your appreciation for wine and your ability to use a corkscrew properly. I know he would have been beaming today to see his only grandson become a bar mitzvah. Solomon's role as youngest in the family is interesting. For example, when Teo was learning to drive, Solomon cried. Why, you ask? He was upset when he realized that she would get her license first and he would get his last. As all good younger brothers, Solomon let his older sisters dress him up, and Babushka Lady was born. Many family dinners ended with the appearance of Babushka Lady. Perhaps you saw a picture or two in the montage. All in all, our kids are a great trio. Eve is Solomon's protector and Taya is Solomon's nemesis. Eve and I have often discussed how interesting it would be when they both realize how much they will miss each other when Taya goes to school in Minnesota. Just saying. Eve, thank you for being the level head and comic relief. Taya, thank you for all of your wonderful artwork. All of it is super cool. I love you. Just so you know, none of this would be possible without Dad. I would be living in the dark ages without him and Solomon. I cannot thank him enough. We are about to celebrate our 25 years of marriage. That does not happen with a whole heck of a lot of patience, respect, and love. David, you are an unbelievable husband and father. Thank you. Such a small phrase, but a powerful one. I am not me without you. I look forward to 25 more years. Or more. Let's see what you can take. I would like to thank everyone who's watching. We have been given anything, we would have given anything to all be together, but this is the next best thing. We will take it. Thanks for being here to celebrate Solomon's big day. Rabbi, none of this is possible without you. Luckily, we started early, so you and Solomon were able to spend time together before you had to switch to phone sessions. Who would have ever believed that you would have had to teach via telephone? but we're glad that we at least had that opportunity. We appreciate your dedication to Solomon. Moishi, I was sure I saw it all when I saw Solomon rapping to fill in with your direction via FaceTime. Pretty amazing. Thank you for making Solomon feel important and therefore realizing how important his studies were as well. Thank you for being such a dear friend. Deanie, thank you for helping to make this possible. We so appreciate you spearheading Taste of Kiddush this week on our behalf. We deeply appreciate your friendship. A big shout out to Robin, who is helping to deliver the bar mitzvah bags to Solomon's friends. You're the bomb. Finally, I want to thank Solomon. You have worked so hard for this last year. You made us so proud. You are an amazing friend and a hard worker. You are not afraid to ask for help, and you are not afraid to be your own person. In fact, the rabbi had never heard of Share until you brought it up to him one day. One of my all-time favorite memories was watching you and Mima at the Share concert. The disabled section had never been so animated. Mima still says that she got to watch two shows, the Share show and the Solomon show. Solomon, you are someone who likes to do things for others that will serve you well. Continue to work hard. That will also always be important. You are a very special boy, young man, that we just love very much. Hashem blessed us with you. You complete our family. You make us smile. You make us proud.
I'd just like to tell you that the first 25 years are the hardest. After that, it's smooth sailing.
Well, okay, good to know. If anybody's going to know, you do.
Even today.
Oh, yeah, even Tam.
Oh, yeah.
They were sleeping.
All right.
They're waiting for the cue.
Hello everyone, and thank you for supporting our brother today, however you were able to do so. And a special thanks to Solomon himself for taking a break from watching TikToks and share videos, smothering butterscotch, shopping on Amazon, and reminding everyone to just love me and to practice for the sake. And boy, did it pay off. Sorry. Everyone who is either here or watching from YouTube is super proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself as well. You've faced so many challenges throughout your life, and you've persevered through each and every obstacle. From an autoimmune disease to a worldwide pandemic, you've conquered it all and proved two things. Number one, that no matter how bad your eyesight is, you'll still be able to identify the exact car that everyone you know drives and judge them based on that. And two, that being when you put your mind to something, no matter how many odds seem to be against you, you can do it. So in order to keep this speech from becoming too short, we decided that since you're becoming a man now, the two of us should give you some advice for the future. Firstly, be wise with your money. Don't spend it all in one place. Amazon. Second, be a gentleman. Always say excuse me after your slightly less desirable bodily functions and choose your role models wisely. Third, expand your horizons and learn to accept that not everything... Third, expand your horizons and learn to accept that not everything that you don't like is trash. Fourth, take a geography class. Enough said. Fifth, make good hygiene a priority.